Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's hair review is from Curlsqueen's hair. They sent me over 2 bundles of their light yaki textured straight hair, and this is in the 22 inches, and look at how full those ends are. Those ends are so full, and I just love that about these bundles. You're gonna need your thread and yarn and a wig cap. I'm using a mesh dome wig cap. You can use either a regular dome cap or a U-part wig cap, but this was all my beauty supply had at the time, so I had to do that. So I just took my measuring tape and measured 6 inches of leave out space so I can mark off where my leave out will be. That's how big I did it. But later in the video, I ended up going over that and making it 4 inches instead of 6 inches. So yeah. So now after we section out our leave out, we're going to start with our guidelines in the back. We're just starting on the bottom and working our way up, and I'm using my thumb as a guideline, so you know the lines will be evenly spaced out throughout the whole wig cap. And this is a guideline just for like when we start sewing on our tracks, we'll be able to make sure we're doing it in a neat and uniformed way. So you're going to do that all the way up until you get to the top, and then yeah. So then I'll color out the leave out part so you guys know where I'm not going to be sewing, but these are how I'm not sure how many lines I ended up having, but it's gonna be different for everyone because this wig block is the size of my head. I do have a size 23 head, so it'll be different depending on the size of your wig block. So here I'm showing you guys how to thread your needle. You're just gonna take the thread and then you're gonna wrap it around 2 times and then take that tail end and put it through those 2 loops and tighten it. It was a little hard for me to show you guys with my nails, but real simple. Then you can cut the excess off after that knot. So for the first bundle, I did double track the double wefted tracks, or whatever you say, but just keep them folded up like that so it can be 2 stacked on top of each other. And we're going to take our T-pins and place it on the first guideline and take our needle and poke it through the weft, through both wefts, and these are folded on top of each other. As you can see, that's what double weft means. So we're gonna poke it through the weft on both of them and then start sewing it through. And I open up the hole and pull the needle through the hole of the thread. So in the beginning of sewing your tracks on, you always start with sewing through the weft, and then once you get to the middle, you can start sewing like underneath the weft. It's recommended that you don't sew through the weft throughout the whole thing, but some people like to do that, so it's all based off personal preference. But I usually do 2 to 3 stitches through the weft to start it off so it can be secured, and then after that I just start going under the weft as you see. And it's really simple. You just go sew under and pull the needle through the hole, and then yeah, you just redo that until you get to the end of the row. And then once you get to the end of the row, it's time to flip over. So literally all you do is take the tracks and flip it over to the other side, and then I'll take the needle, and when I flip over, I like to put the needle through the weft, just because I feel like it makes it more secure and more flat. And then yeah, so you sew just the same way you've been sewing throughout the whole wig making process. And yeah, that's really simple. That's really it. It would be very helpful if you have a lot of T-pins at your disposal, so you can just place the tracks on the guidelines before you start sewing that row. And yeah, and if you want to cut your tracks, you can. Again, it's all up to personal preference. I don't like to cut my tracks unless I absolutely have to, and I will talk about that later in the video once we get to the top of the wig. But here's a slow down version of how I'm pulling the needle through the hole, and yeah. Okay, so here I'm showing you guys how to end off your thread once your thread starts getting shorter and you're in the middle of a row. You just puncture it through the webs and then cut it off and tie it, and then start a new thread, a new needle and thread, and go through the weft to start and go through the weft to end. Those are the only times I go through the weft, is to start and to end. Every other time I'm going under the weft. So yeah. Okay, so after I finished using all of the hair that was in the first bundle, I opened up my second bundle, and with the second bundle I started to only use the single weft instead of the double weft, but it's still the same sewing process as I showed earlier in the video. It's just that it is a single weft now, and once I get to the top, where like the top 3 rows, I start to cut the tracks on the edges just so it can lay flat, as flat as possible. So yeah, on those last 3 rows on the top, I recommend to start cutting your tracks. But again, if you don't want to, you don't have to. You can do the fold over method, but it's best to cut your tracks on the top because you want it to lay flat as possible. Okay, so here is the finished result. As you can see, I only have 4 inches of parting space now, like I mentioned earlier. And now I'm just gonna take the wig off and cut off the mesh part, but you don't want to cut too close to the stitches or else it will come undone. So be careful with that part, and that's how you make a U-part wig. Okay, so now I'm gonna show you guys quickly how I sew in the clips for the clip-in part. I only do 3, 1 in the middle and 1 on each end. So I put the needle through the hole, and then I put the needle through the cap and the weft on the corner, and then I pull the needle through that hole, and then I will put the needle through the middle part of the clip, and then on the end part of the clip where the other hole is. And you can go through the hole more than once, as long as the clip feels secure, then you're good to go. And then when you end it off, you just cut the end of the thread and tie it to secure it. And yeah, that's it. Really simple, because there's holes already on the clips to show you where to sew. And yeah, so that's how you make a U-part wig. It's actually very easy. I didn't want to make this video too long because it's already pretty lengthy, but I hope that this helped you guys get a better understanding on making a U-part wig. And it could be even easier if you glue the tracks on with hair glue, but I didn't do that. So now for the install, I have my leave out. I have the middle part, and then my perimeter, my edges out, and I just have the rest of my hair cornrowed back. So it's really easy. You just snap it on, and style the hair. And yeah, I love U-part wigs. It gives the look of a sew-in. It's literally like a removable sew-in. So that's why I love it so much. And this light yaki texture was just perfect for my hair to blend in. I just loved it. It looked like a silk press, like it looked like my natural hair. Like I loved it so much. I put some Biosilk on my leave out, by the way. I just realized that the camera didn't pick up the name of the product that I put on my hair, but I didn't put any product on the weave. And this is actually how the weave looked air dried after I washed it. So I am gonna end up straightening it in this video so you guys can see, but as you can see, it still looks good without me having to straighten the weave. So yeah. Okay, so after straightening everything, I'm gonna take my scissors and cut slight layers right, starting right where my real hair ends. This is how you really get your leave out to blend in, especially if your leave out's a little short in the front like mine. I do have a little breakage around my edges, but um, adding those layers will just make it look so much more natural, and this is what really makes it look like a silk press in my opinion, at least for the way my hair is. But if your hair is long enough, then you don't have to do that. And I didn't cut too much like layers, too many layers, just really slight layers. So now I'm just gonna do my edges just because I want to. And yeah, so that's all. I really loved how this turned out. Super, super cute. I love this hair. It was actually very easy to work with, very manageable. There was no foul smells. I didn't experience any like excessive shedding. But I will most definitely keep you guys updated on the quality of this hair because I will be wearing it a lot. But look at that, it looks so good. It looks really pretty. I love it. Everything will be linked down below. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Curlsqueen, for sending this hair to me. And yes, I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye guys.